Hello, everyone, and welcome to another SpyParty Masters Championship competitive stream. I am Corvus Mallory, and I'm joined today by my co-caster Gabrielle.
Hi, that's me. Thanks for having me.
And by our host and desk analyst Legorv Janine.
Good afternoon.
We've got a match today between Lazybear and Sauerkraut in the upper group of Champions Round Robin. Now, this is a highly consequential match. We've already seen a couple games in this group. We saw Lazybear facing off against Opie we saw Sauerkraut facing off against Mean Yorick. Both of these players lost those matches, which means that they are not yet eliminated from the champions bracket. They still have a shot, but a win here today would help a lot. Sauerkraut will be eliminated from bracket with a loss, and Lazybear not eliminated, but really needs a lot of help getting out of groups with a loss. So both of these players really gunning for that bracket slot with a win here today. Lazybear, of course, in the group as the grandfathered seed from the SCL6 championship. Sauerkraut, on the other hand, has had a remarkable run up to this point, qualified for Challengers bracket as seed 12, the bottom master rank point seed, and had to fight through POFK and through CRAMs to earn this slot. So already has won 2 matches coming into this. And Lazybear, on the other hand, so far only played 1 match, so not quite as much history there. Now, we can talk all about these players and our predictions for them, but Legorv, let me turn it over to you to talk us a little bit more in depth about how these players play and what we can expect from them today.
Yeah, first up we've got Lazybear, a long-time member of the community, joined in SCL 4, and most recently in SCL 6, won the Diamond Championship, and that's how he earned his slot here in the SMC, and hasn't played in many qualifying events during the season, besides Hexagon Cup, which was a non-qualifying event, but was on the winning team. Lazybear, I think, is a pretty jack-of-all-trades player, especially on the sniper. Has done behaviorism. I think famously has created the etiquette sheet, which I owe much of my success to. And is just overall a very solid player, but hasn't been in practice much recently. We'll take a look at a clip here of Lazybear's spy play in particular, to get a feel for how he'll be taking advantage of the party.
Lazybear has been really getting the party luck compared to Track.
So we're looking at 28% on the flirt right now, and a quick little visit from the ambassador, pretty much completely hidden. Here's the bug. Was just a little bit visible on that lean, but I think he might have got away with it clean because of the Duke's positioning there. That might be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, Lazybear did not make this bug happen for himself, and that makes it so much harder to catch.
So this may appear to be an ordinary standing bug. It's got some decent cover from Duke there, but what really makes this bug a great opportunity that Lazybear capitalizes on is that he sees the ST at the green bookshelf, take her green book over to the blue shelf in order to pick up the briefcase, and thinks that's going to be really good cover, because that's going to look like a direct transfer, and uses that opportunity of cover to also take the standing bug. And those kind of opportunities are exactly what Lazybear looks for. He's really going to try to get seducing contact done as soon as possible while looking for those great opportunities. On the other hand, we have Sauerkraut, who is a more recent entrant into the community, but has really climbed up there. Especially in terms of game count, I believe he and Nebula are the top 2 most active, or highest game count active players currently. Playing, they are no strangers to playing 100 game sets with each other, and it's for that reason that they are really top contenders for this this whole tournament here. They might have to play each other eventually if Sauerkraut can make it out of this group. They did play in Summer Cup, where I believe Nebula edged out the win. And Sauerkraut was knocked out in Summer Cup 5th place by Sea Rams. So we'll take a look at a game here from the Summer Cup. This was Sauerkraut versus Wobble in the round of 16. Take a look at this real quick. Wobble going for a green swap as Smallman on the gallery. When it's just head outside, and if you see here, the ambassador
Banana bread.
pending statue, which is not something you see. Almost going to do a contact to cover that up. A low light is going to pick this up. When the swap happens, Sauerkraut zooms in to check on it, and it does find a shot on I'm sorry about that, Silver. So Sauerkraut's able to find the shot here onto Wobble because even though this is a very rare situation, Sauerkraut being a menace with the sheer amount of practice games, you see rare situations like this more often that way. So I'll pass it back to our casters here as we look over the draft.
And we have, let's see, we have our bands, High Rise and Modern. Our restrictions are Ballroom and Pub. Doubled Library, doubled Terrace, and then our singles will be Pub, Balcony, Gallery, and Ballroom. And as I was looking at this draft, I was worried for a second we would see an SMC set without Gallery or Ballroom, which have been by far the most popular venues. Not going to happen. They will both be played as we will play all 16 games. I think the doubles here are actually super interesting. We've seen single pub, we've seen balcony before. I'm not surprised Sauerkraut picking that. The thing that surprises me most about these doubles is that library and terrace, and library especially, are places where you would tend to expect splits at this level of play. And we've usually seen drafters trying to find a 3-1 on their double. So if Sauerkraut's coming into library with a plan of how he's going to beat Lazybear, or if Lazybear's coming into Terrace, Terrace, of course, a much more forgiving venue, I think, for spies at this point. But library especially, I mean, we saw it in an earlier match where it's really hard to come out of a library in not a 2-2 position, and that can put you behind going into the rest of the set.
Yeah, I find it interesting that the single for Sauerkraut is on gallery. The gallery is in singles and instead of doubles. Yeah, I agree. Those doubles are really interesting in terms of terrace and library.
Yeah, I think, what else can we expect to see here? I mean, single pub, single balcony. I think it's probably fair to say that, those are some swingy venues. Pub, of course, you can end up in coin flips. Balcony, of course, is balcony. It's interesting to see how the level of play will adapt from the doubles into the singles. So many chances for players to try to make a lot of things happen in the singles. And looking at these singles, it does feel like this has the potential to be the first match where the lead could change from the doubles to the singles. We haven't seen that yet. Anyone who's been ahead at halftime has always won their SMC match. But with singles like these, I think this match so far has the best chance of finding a difference there.
Yeah, it's still below 50% though. There's also both players going into the mind games of choosing the singles of the opponent's restrict. So that's relatively standard by now to choose the same as your opponent's restrict, because you can't choose it for a double, so you choose it as a single instead.
Yeah, we saw how both of these players play on gallery in the highlights, so be really interesting to see how those gallery games go in particular. But I guess it's time to get into our predictions.
It is indeed.
Ooh, who's first?
Carvis, you're up first.
Oh no. So I have deep and enduring respect for Lazybear. Of course, I came into the community in the SCL6 era, where Lazybear was just, the greatest competitive player on the scene. I've learned so much from him. deep respect and deep friendship with Lazybear. Sauerkraut, of course, also came into the competitive community at the same time as me in SCL6, so I saw a lot of his play back then. I have been on record consistently in these SMC matches predicting against Sauerkraut. I have consistently been proven wrong in those predictions. But I still believe that Lazybear has a chance to show up here, stay alive in groups, and I'm going to give this set to Lazybear 9-7.
Well, both players, I think. Yes, Lazybear has played less recently, but at the same time, I think he's more than capable of taking on Sauerkraut. At the same time, Sauerkraut has played a lot recently, and I think the difference is going to be made up here because Lazybear is going to be just slightly rustier. But because Lazybear, I think, might be overall slightly better than Sauerkraut on if he wasn't rusty at all. So I think it actually evens up to a 8-8 again. I'm going to predict a tie at the annoyment of Legorv and Corvus.
You can't always guess a tie, Gabriel.
Well, I can when it's like this, right? Like so close.
Well, I'm gonna keep it even closer because I'm going Sauerkraut on this one. I think if we see Sauerkraut in peak form gets off to an early lead, I think Sauerkraut can steamroll this one. But likewise, that could also flip the other way. I think if Lazybear gets a good start, I think it could put Sauerkraut in a hole that is not easy to come back from. So Corvus says a 9-7 for Lazybear. Gabriel is predicting the tie. And I'm predicting a 9-7 for Sauerkraut. So it's about as even as we can get. And,
All right, well,
shall we get into it?
yeah, let's get into the games here. Enough talking from us. We have got 16 games between these players. And starting off with Sauerkraut on the spy side of Library playing as Red Dress. Gabriel, you ready to go?
Let's do this.
All right, I will count us in. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Okay, so Sauerkraut, I mean, this is your double. So you presumably have some plan here, right? I really want to watch to see what Sauerkraut is expecting to do against Lazybear, because I don't think Sauerkraut is just looking for a 2-2 split.
I mean, you'd like to hope that you're never looking for a 2-2 split, right? We tried to bug, actually. I'm not sure we had really great cover for that, although the ambassador obviously is Taft.
We didn't have great cover, and it was kind of on camera for the sniper, but I mean, it's just so brazen a bug. I'm not even sure Lazybear was really looking for it. We'll go to books instead. I don't think we're gonna pick up this flirt. Oh no, there it is. It's even a green test. That's gonna be 42% from Sauerkraut. I'm gonna take this book away, and we're really not on camera at this bookcase, so we may have a decent chance of returning this to blue.
We're right next to the ambassador again, though, so I wonder if you want to try something. I don't think we will, but if the opportunity arose, we could have.
We'll go for this briefcase instead. It's a difficult print, and Ambassador is at books. We'll miss the fingerprint and just put it down. I know plenty of people have talked about Sauerkraut's weaknesses with etiquette, and that is something that Lazybear absolutely could be aware of. We're transferring behind pillar. We're really not visible on sniper cam at all, and that is a clean transfer, I think. Lazybear may be aware that something may have been going on behind that pillar, but it's really not visible, at least. We'll return to the same flirt at the same bookcase, 66% now, as this book goes back with a green microfilm in pocket, but down to 3 minutes on the clock with no missions complete.
Yeah, and the hardest part is obviously going to get the second. Ooh, we get the low light, actually, for returning that book to the same bookcase. That is... that's game, almost.
That is huge. And it's so surprising because I did not even think Lazybear was really confident where that book came from. Evidently he is, and he's so confident that Sauerkraut thinks that he doesn't know that Sauerkraut would have tried to transfer it. But Sauerkraut very respectfully just removes the microfilm behind pillar and puts the book back. This is going to be... We're shifting around this conversation as well. What are we tapping here? We're trying to get the bug! We get the bug and it's not really visible. It's... Hard to see we're low lit. Sauerkraut suddenly turning it on Library.
Okay, now we're in for some a good mission win countdown, especially since we're low light. It's just 3 missions or 2 missions and a half if we finish this transfer right here. And we have 2 minutes to do it.
This transfer worries me because this is one of the very few things that could get you seen and shot as a lowlight if you're standing in front of these bright yellow books. Sauerkraut's going to take this book away. Surely, Sauerkraut, we're not just going to do the same thing again. Okay, we walk past that book spot. We're not going to go there directly at least. 100 seconds left on the clock. We still only have 2 missions. So we have to get this transfer. We have to get a contact and then maybe a center inspects or a silent inspect swap. Here comes the transfer. It's behind pillar. We get the microfilm in, and Sauerkraut is just going to go put this book right back.
I mean, we're low lit, but if we weren't, I think that might have been seen.
I mean, it's
could
so
have been.
suspicious to see somebody with a book go to that same place twice. But we're low lit. I think Lazybear just might not be watching us. And now we have a minute left after this transfer gets done. There it is, to find a contact and one more mission.
I was going to say inspect swap, but we're not going to be able to finish inspects here. So maybe just inspect and contact, but that's dangerous play if the double agent leaves.
Double Agent is on the move currently and is not headed for any conversation that we're headed towards. Sauerkraut's burning down this clock, and I'm starting to get a little nervous.
Yeah, we're going to the other statue here, finish inspect. Double agent is going to the side, so that's not a conversation. We're finishing inspect. Are we going for a swap?
Must be, right? Yeah, there's the swap, and it is white. Not looking, not looking. And I think Sauerkraut's going to steal this away as a lowlight and open up with a spy win on Library.
Nice play, especially that low light. That was relatively lucky and unfortunate for Lazybear.
Yeah, I think Lazybear watching back this replay thinking, how on earth did I give this low light so freely? Is going to be a lot more stingy with them going forward in the match. And that could spell disaster if Lazybear's relying on those lowlights. And this bug, I mean, I'm a little surprised that the first bug attempt doesn't get seen and doesn't get noticed. But the second bug attempt, especially after the low light, but even before, it's such a classic library bug, but it's good. The arm does stick out a little bit if you're looking for it, but against a low light, you just probably aren't.
I was just a little scared at the end here since we're down to the wire in terms of time, so it's really dangerous if the sniper realizes, okay, maybe my lowlights aren't actually what they seem, and then checks statues. That could have been dangerous.
Or if Sniper was checking to see if we could have been swapping someone else's green swap and then saw the fade. I mean, very, very dangerous games being played here, but Sauerkraut does pick up a spy win on his double, and that's usually a good sniper side. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Checking to watch check to add time immediately. It is green, and we are not on the pad. But
not on the pad.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. Library is not the kind of place where that's going to be a huge issue for you. And Lazybear has picked up a highlight.
Maybe us not being on the pad was the wrong play.
Or even just like going to that window right after a time ad. I mean, if you suddenly notice there's been a time ad, and then you see someone standing at that window, you might think, hey, maybe that's the person that did the time ad. But Lazybear now, not low lit, actually high lit, and being paid a lot of attention by the laser.
Oh, that's unfortunate. The only person at windows when the time ad was noticed.
Well, we do pick up a green flirt with our seduction target to open things up. 4.5 minutes left on the spy clock. And I think Lazybear, I mean, you still have a lot of options here with Library having so much time. The problem is, framing on Library, not going to be super easy. We did not see Sauerkraut taking a lot of civ shots. We saw a lot of very disciplined sniper play from Sauerkraut up to this point, almost to a fault. And so that's going to be potentially an issue for Lazybear, because it may mean that he has to finish missions as a highlight.
Which is going to be very difficult to do, especially since we're one of the only 2 highlights.
Looks like we're just going to timer flirt this, although we do interrupt our ST to stay in this conversation. There's the cooldown, the stop talk, and the quick talk. It's going to be a white flirt, 85% now, with 3:45 on the clock.
We are on the move. Trying to do something, probably contact. It is a pretty good contact right now. The other double agent just left, suspected double agent, but is joining right back, but we're getting RDA who leaves, unfortunately, so that's not going to be a possibility anymore, unless we want to fake contact.
We're not going to do it. We're going to pick up this flirt instead. Should be pretty straightforward. There it is. Plenty of time. That's one mission done with 3 minutes. I mean, we can't really chase our double agents, so we may just want to start on statues. No, we're going to enter this useless conversation instead.
Yeah, we can't really do much here. We have 3 minutes left and 4 missions to go. We could be looking for a frame, but it's going to be really difficult to do. So I'm not sure what our plan here is.
Two and a half minutes on the clock. And we're going to leave this conversation and go for statue pick. Are we trying to do some kind of swap cheese? There's the swap. It's a green swap. Instant put down, but we're on laser.
It was seen.
Yeah, and there's the shot from Sauerkraut. Can't trust that rotation latency on Library. And Sauerkraut's going to sweep the first 2 games of the venue.
It was a good... There's no audio, though.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this cast. Sorry for some of the technical interruptions. Hopefully we are back, and we have got our 3rd game of Library. Of course, we just saw the shot onto Lazybear by Sauerkraut for that attempted statue cheese. And now we're heading into Sauerkraut's 2nd spy game, which will be playing as Teal with Lazybear on the sniper side. Gab, are you ready to go?
Let's do this again.
All right. Well, then let's get into this game in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Oh, we don't start with a bug there. There might have been opportunity, but very, very difficult to do. So Sauerkraut's just going to stop in this little conversation and try to figure out what it is he wants to do in this 2nd spy game.
Sauerkraut essentially has control here of these 4 first games by having that 2-0 lead. So he's really just trying to attempt to get that 3rd game, but doesn't necessarily need it. If he'll try, obviously, but he'll also be totally fine if he doesn't get it.
Yeah, at this point, you could kind of say Sauerkraut is playing with house money. Anything that he gets here on the spy side is just going to be extra. But you would definitely take it, especially playing against a player like Lazybear. These players have played twice before, and here comes a microfilm. It's super on camera. That is not going to work. And Lazybear answers back with a quick sniper win.
I'm not sure what we were trying to do. Ambassador is absolutely free, so we're not checking that. Turloin is unlikely because the person just before took, so yeah, I'm not sure if that was the best play here.
Yeah, and so that's going to be Lazybear keeping things close on Library. And as Sauerkraut, you're playing spy on Library against one of the best players in the world. You have to take some risks to try to make something happen. We mentioned that Sauerkraut would be happy with just about anything in that game as long as he can hold down this sniper game. But now it all comes down to Lazybear. Lazybear has a chance to try to pull this back to a draw, playing as Alice in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, it's interesting when you expect the sniper to win. That means the spy needs to take a risk, right? Because if the spy doesn't take a risk, then the sniper will win and nothing will happen. So if you don't take a risk as the spy player, then you won't actually get any points. So if you're highlight on top of that, like in game 2, then you actually need to take a bigger risk if you really want to win the game. And we're all already highlight somehow. I don't know why. Probably missed etiquette or something.
I mean, that's just so punishing. We've seen this happen to Lazybear twice now, and I am not sure what exactly is happening to Lazybear to get a highlight like this, but you hate to see it. Now, Lazybear playing a huge uphill battle on the spy side of Library as one of only 2 highlights.
I don't understand where that highlight comes from. That is an impressive highlight. Only 1 of 3 now, but still, it's... I don't... Probably we were first to talk in the conversation, and then maybe the pathing to it wasn't great, but I'm still surprised we're highlight.
Well, 3 minutes 20 left in this game. Ambassador comes over towards us. That's not necessarily going to do us any favors, but judging from what we saw in the last game, Lazybear may be content to just try to flirt this out, and then focus on another plan. Unfortunately, Toby is right here nearby, so there is nothing to distract the sniper away from this side of the conversation. We will go ahead and finish off Flirt. Some lowlights come off for bouncing, and we're going to head out of here. We've had enough of the right side of Library. Unfortunately for us, the Ambassador's kind of following us all the way across.
I'm not sure we were allowed to leave. I didn't check exactly if people were talking in that conversation, but if we were the only one talking, we definitely weren't allowed to leave.
Lazybear just can't catch an attention break here. We saw it try in the previous spy game as Irish, where Sauerkraut was able to find that statue cheese shot. Lazybear just trying to get away from Toby and the Ambassador, but we stop at green books and we are absolutely seen there. Now here's the book take. There's no print on this. We're just going to go for a transfer in the sniper's face. It's not going to work. And now we've seen that play twice on Library. Twice it has not succeeded. And Sauerkraut gets out of Library with a 3-1 win.
So I'm seeing the replay back, and potentially the highlight was for a weird pathing to the conversation. That it is pretty weird. Then we have a redirect at the start as well, which isn't perfectly clean.
Yeah, or just the
And then we're the
positioning
first to
here.
talk as well.
I mean, we're kind of stepping on Queen's toes, and all in all, a good highlight from Lazybear because it did highlight the spy. And that is a 3-1 coming out of Library and heading into Lazy's double of Terrace.
Nice lead for Sauerkraut here. Definitely what he wants, at least.
Yep, and now Sauerkraut going to be playing back Lazybear's pick of Irish on Terrace. 3 of 7, 3 minutes in 3, 2, 1, playing it. The 3 minutes here on Terrace, a slight extension of the traditional 3 of 7 setup, just to make things a little bit more plausible for the spy. Of course, we see this on plenty of setups, and we go for this bug. It does not take, and the instant shot from Lazybear.
Oh my god.
Some quick games happening here, and this bug, unfortunately, Ambassador goes the wrong way. And nice job picking it up, too.
I'm surprised we took that bug because we kind of... yeah, based on when we took the bug, we could have stopped ourselves from taking that bug at the last moment. Because if the Ambassador isn't going to the bar, which we didn't know about until they turned, they wouldn't go into our conversation, so they couldn't have done the turn. So they had to go on the left side. So that was a really unfortunate bug to take, because it was unlikely that the Ambassador was going to go to bar once they turned.
Yep, and that means Lazybear is keeping this match close. Now, of course, on the spy side of Terrace, and this feels like a place where Lazybear could find some success playing as Duke. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Duke, of course, a very unusual standing bug. Or very unusual, I guess I should say, reverse drive-by bug, which is the kind of thing you could see setups for on Terrace.
We're not doing much for the first 20 seconds, just hanging out here at windows. I don't think it's necessarily bad, especially since Sauerkraut seems to highlight people for doing suspicious stuff. We're gonna get our first flirt here, though.
Yeah, it's far across conversation, but no reason not to take it, and there it is. It's going to be 17% white test. See some bar highlights coming off from Sauerkraut. But not much action, I think, at this point. Lazybear is taking careful note of who's at bar, who's actually taking drinks, who's walking away without being offered. So Lazybear is going to have full knowledge of what the potential delegates are.
Yeah, but we have now not done much for the first minute of the game. So we're going to have to step on the gas a little bit if we want to finish this game.
Oh, and look at this. We joined bar just as Ambassador's coming in, but we're not going to be able to get this fingerprint. We don't delay the request, and so that's going to be just a delegate for our troubles, and of course a bar highlight with 1.5 minutes left on the clock, and only 17% flirt with our seduction targeted statues.
Yeah, this is starting to be difficult to finish. We have 68% on the flirt, that's nice, but Double Agent is out of conversation. We have 1 minute left. We do have a delegate in pocket, but it's going to be difficult to do here. Okay, we're trying to do it on Orange Sari here. Trying to delegate to Orange Sari, but I'm not sure it's going to work out in time by now.
Yeah, clock is ticking down for Lazybear. Ambassador's kind of headed our way, but does not path behind us, so no reverse drive-by possibilities. Double Agent is in the other conversation. We do have Irishid statues, and it's time for us to move. And it's just gonna be... What are we chasing here? It's just the Double Agent, I guess.
I mean, we can finish our flirt, and we can get a contact, but only 3 people have real. Yeah, like, Tex is currently being flashed on, but if they don't get... Can we fake contact now? No, don't move conversation.
8 seconds.
Contact.
There's gonna be overtime. It's too late. And it's a white
No.
test.
Banana bread.
3 seconds. No shots gonna be coming off. We have to go for the bug, and it's a dance! And are we gonna find the shot? We find the shot! Sauerkraut's able to line it up and holds the lead on Terrace after that bug.
Sauerkraut was looking for that Tex shot there at the end. Oh, that's... I don't know why we could have fake contacted. I understand why we didn't, because we didn't know someone else was the high suspect. But even then, we should have taken the contact immediately when we entered that conversation.
Difficult shot to line up, but Sauerkraut's able to make it happen and holds the lead as we go into the last pair of games in the doubles. So Lazybear really going to need to try to find something in these last 2 games. We'll start on the sniper side with Sauerkraut spying as queen. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
We're going with Double Agent here. Quite a few people at windows. But not much is happening yet.
Not much. With 2 minutes 45 on the clock, there's still plenty of time. Our seduction target is at statues, so I'm sure we're taking careful note of that. Rocker at statues as well. A couple people at bar, but so far, pretty quiet. Pick up this green flirt for 25%.
I do believe that is the minimum green flirt, so we're the furthest away from our seduction target. And we're doing kind of the same thing as the first game. This is a pretty good banana bread.
It's not bad.
Still, it's a 4 lowlights, though.
Here comes 3 lowlights. But we're not going to take it.
Oh, we're leaving.
We are heading into bar to pick up a delegate of our own. Unless we've just been delegated too.
I think that would have been a brilliant contact now. Like, so many people with Rio, and it's the big conversation in the front for the sniper.
Yep, it's a direct
We're taking it.
Here we go.
Yep.
We were delegated to, perhaps by pearls? I'm not 100% sure. What's the reaction going to be from Lazybear?
Point at Queen and be confused for 5 seconds, and then take some lowlights.
Meanwhile, we pick up an easy fingerprint. Lazybear at this point, I think, has to hate Queen. but hate is not enough to provoke a shot as we re-enter conversation a little bit closer to our seduction target.
Any green will do to finish this off. Contact is now not great now that we have so many lowlights actually. If Double Agent joins our conversation, then we'll be okay, but if we take a fake contact right now, only Rocker will have real. We have only 50 seconds left to finish as well.
And we were not delegated to by anybody. We were standing between General and Alice. Neither one had been to a bar at all. So even though there are a bunch of highlights in this conversation, and indeed there are, we do not actually have a credible delegate frame against any of them. Now that doesn't mean that one of them won't get shot. But with 26 seconds left, all we need is a contact to get to mission win countdown.
Or all we need is one fingerprint if the ambassador can put their briefcase down, or actually we're going to be fetching for the contact instead.
Yep, here it comes.
So we... Oh, I was going to say we do it before the 10-second mark, but this is a very long white banana bread. We're going to have some overtime. Are we going to dance?
This is so
or are we
rough.
just gonna
Sick
hope?
was the last one to join, and Sick's going to take the bullet.
Yeah, that's just how it works. If you're not sure who takes the purloin, and then you have a hard time pairing people up for seduce, then it's just one of the highlights, right?
This is so interesting because we take this contact at 12 seconds left, and it feels like, okay, we'll get in before overtime. And then instead it's a long, long, long white. It's over 6 seconds between the trigger and the actual contact coming off. But that gives Sick time to be the last one to join this conversation as a highlight and sort of bails Sauerkraut out. So I think the white there actually saved us, where the green very well may have been a shot. And that means Sauerkraut has secured 5 in the first 8, and Lazybear is going to be spying just to keep it 5-3.
Yeah, and Seek is doing a nice 360 at 32 seconds left. This is not Ballroom dancing, but that is an interesting path. I'm not sure what caused that.
All right, well, Lazybear trying to keep the set alive at this point, playing as Kane. In 3, 2, 1, playing.
Going for a nice seduce. It is 51% for green, so that's very nice to see after so many far away flirts.
Yeah, and we have seen
just need one more mission.
Play 2 characters with very strong bugs so far on Terrace, and arguably so has Sauerkraut, Irish, and Queen. Somewhat more situational, but if Lazybear is looking for a bug, we have lots of opportunities to do it, but it didn't really work out last game, as we had to go for it the last second. Here comes a fake contact, and you're going to like this one, Gabriel.
Banana bread.
One low light, and lots of people with real. That's very good.
Yep, here come the highlights for real. We, of course, do not have one of them. And now Lazybear, I would love to see a game that we never finish contact.
I think it's going to be difficult to do, but maybe we're lucky enough for Sauerkraut to be like, but this is not possible. They don't have real.
Yeah, because Sauerkraut
can't beat
knows
them.
who has real, and Lazybear, I think, very capable of reading those laser lights and being aware that that's what happened. Or we can go for
We
this
can't
contact.
take the real contact. Yeah, we can't really take it now. That would out us as the only, along with Seek, as the only person. Well, now even less so. Because otherwise we'd be the only ones who didn't have contact before and now do have it.
Coming up on 1:20 on the clock.
Going for the second pair of statues. We could inspect swap. I think it's a very dangerous strategy. This is fingerprintable though. So we can hope for the 2 Softails fingerprints and inspects and finish with that. We didn't take the fingerprint actually. We're actually going to swap for red dress. Let's see.
Yeah, the camera rotation here suggests that Sauerkraut may be watching the fade. No, we don't swap. We just put it back.
Interesting. Well, now we have 40 seconds left and we have to find a mission. Are we just going to contact?
all that statue grabbing may make us seem very unsuspicious. Unfortunate that one of them was fingerprintable, but we only have the one fingerprint,
Banana bread.
not two. So there's the contact. Mission win countdown. Will Sauerkraut find the shot? He will! And Sauerkraut, not pulling any punches in this match, is up 6-2 at the half.
I'm quite impressed by that shot. At the same time, I find it unfortunate Lazybear didn't take that fingerprint, because I think a silent game, well, silent game for the spy at least, could have been better than what we did here.
Yeah, at the end, this contact, it happens right here. We're the only person getting real contact in this contact because Disney is picking up the briefcase at the moment that it happens. Disney is not the one saying banana bread in this situation. I think that makes the shot a lot easier for Sauerkraut. And it's kind of unfortunate for Lazybear that he gave so many people real in the first place, which made this shot so much more suspicious.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because we're the only person who's not highlight, meaning we didn't have a reel before and now we get it, so...
All right, well
yeah, that's unfortunate.
The first half in the books. Just taking a look at the score here, Sauerkraut leading with 6 points out of the first 8. So Legorv, let's get you back here. So, I mean, what was so dominant about Sauerkraut's play in this first half?
Yeah, we saw a lot of hard tells there. We saw a couple shots for bug attempts. We saw a couple shots for microfilm attempts on library there. But that one mission win at the very start of the set, I think, is exactly what Sauerkraut needed to really get the energy rolling on this match. So here we got Sauerkraut. A minute left on the clock. Double agents out of conversation. Sauerkraut needs to make a decision. Goes in for side statues, I believe. Just takes the one inspect, trying to get away without being seen, not knowing that he's a low light. Trying to track down this double agent who is just at statues, but isn't heading into a conversation, so Sauerkraut needs to go finish up these inspects. And during this time, Lazybear has been leaning around Pearls right behind Sauerkraut here to get a look at this statue. So Sauerkraut will end up swapping this, so that could have been quite dangerous for Sauerkraut. Since Lazybear is watching for this, even on a low light, on one of 2 lowlights actually, really could have put Sauerkraut from a really dominant position in a very commanding opening mission win. Could have been lost there, but the double agent being out of conversation, I think, made Lazybear look around for something else that was taking place.
And so, I mean, in the games that are coming up, obviously Lazybear, a huge hill to climb. What are some adjustments that we might want to see from these players in the bottom half?
Yeah, we're going into balcony after pub, of course. Sauerkraut is picked first, but the Snipercade, pub, and balcony, I think, is where Lazybear needs to mount a comeback. And balcony is certainly a place where he can do that. Has proven to be very proficient at balcony, but it is still balcony, so it can go either way.
Yeah, I remember back in one of our highlight streams when Lazybear was profiled, I believe it was him who had an absolutely just unreal shot on balcony after the longest purloin chain that perhaps I have ever seen. So definitely possible for Lazybear, of course, to sweep the next 4 games on Snipercade, pub, and balcony and bring this all the way back to a 6-6. But I think the time has come to not hypothesize, but instead see what it is that will actually happen, and it will be starting off on pub with Sauerkraut on the spy side playing as General. Gabriel, are you ready to get back into the set?
Let's get back into it.
All right, we'll go in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I think what Lazybear here can hope for is a 3-1 in the next 2 venues, so winning 1 spy game and then winning both sniper games, because this will bring it back to a 7-5, which is doable then to try and win again on the last 2 venues, on Gallery, I believe, and Ballroom.
It would not be the first time these players have been in a 7-5 Sauerkraut situation. That was the case in Summer Cup last year, as well, Gabriel, as in Hidden Cup. I think Sauerkraut upset Lazybear 7-5, and Sauerkraut having a little bit of trouble with this. We get a flash onto Sauerkraut by Lazy Sniper, and I think that might be a good indication this was seen, but that Lazybear is using highlights to track something specific.
We can, there we go, I was wondering when we were taking our flirt. So that's a green flirt, 85%, we just need 15%. We're brought back down to a neutral light, but that doesn't mean it wasn't noticed. That's a bug, it takes, and it's a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sauerkraut, after that missed pad, not Sauerkraut's first missed pad in this set, I think the game was effectively concluded at that point, and Lazybear just waiting for him to do something, continuing to play the game. Animation break extremely visible, and Lazybear finds the shot in the foot. And that is going to be Lazybear, hey, starting with the comeback now with 3 points.
Yeah, it's a very interesting path here at 2 minutes 15, because Sauerkraut sees that Kane is at the statue, so tries to redirect, but then sees Kane moving, and then redirects back, but Kane is actually moving to another part of the statue, so now we have to path there, and we miss the pad quite obviously, which is unfortunate.
Yep, not what you want as Sauerkraut, but it is what you get. And now you get a chance to play on the sniper side of pub with Lazybear on the spy side, playing as Wheels. In 3, 2, 1, playing
it. Everyone getting stuck here on the doorway. Always happens on pub. Ambassador leaves us, doesn't want to be next to us. So now we haven't done much and not doing much in the first 15 seconds, but we are fetching for the seduce now.
Yep, looks pretty good. We will pull this 51%. This highlight comes off, and I wonder if this is another spacing highlight like we saw on Library, because if it is, I mean, Lazybear has just been punished so hard by Sauerkraut for these conversation positionings, and I know Wheels is one of the ones where it's hard to judge, but it looks like Sauerkraut's got Lazybear's number with these conversation positionings and highlights.
I wonder how much research went into this to figure out Lazybear actually squeezes into those, because I think a lot of players probably wouldn't assume that necessarily. We're brought back down to neutral light, which is interesting. Usually we're not, but maybe we're actually trying to keep track of bar instead. But we're still in the back of the mind of Sauerkraut for sure.
I'm sure. We take a close path around Damon, chasing our selection target and the double agent and the ambassador. So we will be seen over here, I am sure. We just get the bug! What has happened?
Safety went off. I'm not sure it was on us, but
I guess it was.
It is on us.
Yeah, I mean, watching this back from the sniper side, I can't see this bug at all. Oh, it's the twitch. There it is. The twitch bug.
Yeah, I didn't really like the pathing at the start either. I'm not sure it was noticed. It probably was just in conversation position, but even then, if this was... The pathing at the start was really weird. Not sure it's great.
And so Lazybear now in a big hole with a split on pub means that the comeback's going to have to happen, I mean, where else but on balcony 2 of 3. Just check the missions here. We do have bug turned on. Really happy to see that, especially with these players. And we'll start off with Sauerkraut on the spy side, playing as Pearls. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I mean, when you choose the missions on balcony, it's really between Purloin and Bug at this point, because Fingerprint, the probability that an AI completes Fingerprint is so low that you probably shouldn't put Fingerprint on. And then Purloin is kind of a luck-based factor, a lot more than Ambassador is. So that's why most players prefer Bug to Purloin, because there's a higher likelihood of getting a nice bug than this. We do manage to get a green flirt, and we have everyone in conversation for a banana bread.
Well, we did. Now we have some folks heading out, unfortunately. Everyone pretty much is highlight, so I wouldn't read too much into Lazybear's highlight on Sauerkraut at this point. Coming up on 70 seconds left in this game. And here comes Queen. So this could be our bug opportunity, and Sauerkraut thinks that's right. It's going to be a white test, but hopefully everyone stays. No, Keen's going to be out. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, that's the difference between a green and a white here. And talking, especially on balcony. We just need a green flirt. We'd love Kane to come back.
And he will.
Can we get the green flirt? We
do.
do.
And Sauerkraut with a 2 green game, but they're the greens that matter. Lazybear almost wants to shoot. Not going to take it. And Sauerkraut, in commanding fashion, has secured match point.
Wow. Predicting 9-7 or 8-8, and here we are at 8-3.
That's just brutal. And Lazybear obviously wants to take this shot, just not quite able to commit to it. And now Sauerkraut has 5 match points to try to take this set.
Yeah, I can't blame Lazybear. This is a hard shot.
For sure.
Like the only thing we could have seen is the white banana bread. But even then, that's really hard to take.
All right, well, here comes Small Man from Lazybear. I mean, when you're up against match point, what else could you possibly try? In a 3, 2, 1, playing it. Here comes the contact. We're highlight immediately.
Banana bread.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Contact bug dance, I think, is our highest likelihood of winning, actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Because if we go the slow way, is
I wouldn't even necessarily have minded like just a super rush into like bug. Into like contact, into immediate leave, into bug, and like try to let Sour sort everything out. But Lazybear's gonna take the slow road. We do pick up a white flirt, so that is an option.
But here, if we talk twice more, we're dead.
I think
so.
You're right.
This is. Unless our ST manages to leave and we get at windows sneakily 2 flirts at windows, we have safety off on us. We talk once more, we're dead. Like, if we had a green actually on the first one, we would have won this, which is unfortunate, like unlucky, but.
And Lazybear still has to think at this point that like finishing flirt is still the best option.
Here we are, 30 seconds left.
We're doing a lot of talking.
I like it.
I like it. I think it's good.
I did it against Sauerkraut once, and it worked out perfectly. So maybe it'll work out for Lazybear.
Now we're just trusting in the ST. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. Here he comes. There's the flirt. And Sauerkraut takes the match.
I'm not sure. I think here the best course of action is actually waiting 3-4 more seconds and then dancing. So we have like 4 seconds of overtime, which is very difficult for Sniper to shoot Smallman on, especially if Smallman is dancing.
Yeah, difficult choice either way, but Sauerkraut now has picked up the win, and Lazybear is at this point just playing for tie breaks, which, to be fair, Lazybear... So Sauerkraut with a loss in this match is eliminated from Champions Bracket. Lazybear is not, but will need good tiebreak scores to make it in. So whereas for Sauerkraut, after a loss, it's just about finding third place and finding that that $50 prize for third, Lazybear here still has a chance to get it in. And so every single one of these games could still be extremely consequential for Lazybear. Much more so than for Sauerkraut, if Sauerkraut had been the one taking the loss.
Absolutely. We do want every single game here as Lazybear. We'll try for at least.
And Sauerkraut also could very easily end up in a tiebreak situation with Opie Wrights and Meteoric. with a win against Opie Rights. And so all of these players at this point, the tie breaks will be very potentially consequential. And so we have got Sauerkraut on the spy side of Gallery, playing as Rocker. Lazybear on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And this venue, Gallery, is where both highlight clips for these players came from at the start of the stream. So a venue they are very familiar with, and I can expect we'll see some high-level plays on Gallery and on Ballroom, which is still to come.
Both players have done some very interesting pathing at the start of each game here. Like, it's difficult to pick up on, but it's not impossible. And if both players actually looked at it, they could have seen it. But no highlight. We did manage to get a white flirt, a green flirt actually. And we're just looking at paintings.
Sauerkraut could come in here, try to find a second flirt. It looks like we will. Here it is, 56%. That's looking pretty good. 3 minutes left on the clock with Double Agent in conversation, and not quite full conversations, but not terrible.
Yeah, I'm wondering why we're not taking it. I think we're waiting for our ST to join, potentially, because we're not taking the contact yet.
It looks like we almost think about trying to take this bug, and in the end, we decide not to. Probably a good choice for Sauerkraut. And 2.5 minutes on the clock to try to wrap this up. 0 missions complete so far.
We could attempt a transfer right now. No, it's a bit late. We are taking the book out, though. So this is a possibility.
Yeah, I like it, and I like kind of walking behind conversation past green, just to get a slightly more value in terms of the sniper maybe thinking it came from green in the first place. I don't think Lazybear thinks that, but it's worth a shot. We will not be purloining here, though, but we could try to go for a contact still. Well, I take that back.
Our ST also does not join, so 1 minute 45 left and no missions completed yet. So we could transfer our book, but we need to finish flirt, contact, and still get a 4th mission.
Yeah, the Double Agent is not making this easy for us. I think we have to go put this book back, either correctly or incorrectly. I mean, we can choose, but we can't just sit here holding this book and not making any mission progress. We can't do statues, we can't do purloin. Bug is going to be harder holding a book. And so here we go. We're going to go for the transfer and the flirt. And this could be it. Lazybear not showing any indication that he wants to take this shot for the transfer.
I think the book take was really good. Ambassador was outside, so now we're not sure which book it is from, and frankly, Rocker isn't a high suspect yet, especially since nothing else has been done.
Yeah, the problem at this point is how to finish, right? We have flirt done,
right.
That's fine, but the Double Agent is not exactly playing nice, and we still need a 4th mission on top of that. With 43 seconds, it's going to be a time ad. We are not on Sniper Cam when it happens. We head back in. I think that's a very smart move from Sauerkraut.
So I'm not sure we want to swap here. We really want to try and get inspects and then get our contact.
There's a swap.
Are we gonna?
The swap has come.
There's the swap.
It's not the last mission.
How are we gonna finish now? Like, we're highlit. We're seen. We're not moving.
We're trying to block the statue as long as we can. I'm not sure Lazybear has seen the swap yet. It's cut off by the sniper mask. Now it's visible. So it's 2 hardtails done. But Double Agents at statues.
We haven't taken any lowlights for that time ad, and now it's too late to do so.
Well, here's gonna be
We're finishing inspects.
I mean, Lazybear has to take the shot. We're gonna be in mission win countdown. There it is. 10 seconds to shoot, and Lazybear will find the shot. Continues to rack up some points, winning the sniper game on Gallery. A nice game from Sauerkraut, and really unfortunate some of that Double Agent action.
Yeah, Double Agent really didn't want us in a conversation at the same time. We could have taken the contact at the start of the game there, but that's obviously always the gamble. Do we wait and get an even better contact, and risk the double agent being out of the conversation for the rest of the game, or do we take it now and potentially lose out on a better contact?
All right, well, Lazybear now on the spy side of Sauerkraut's pick of Gallery, playing as Irish. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
We are fetching for the Seduce. I don't think we're going to get it.
Does not happen, and so Lazybear could just go try to grab a book. Oh, with our seduction target even. Sure. I like this.
It is green, so we get a 51% here.
And a microfilm.
We get the transfer.
And an immediate shot. Wow. Sauerkraut's not messing around here.
That's the unfortunate order, isn't it? We would have preferred going for green microfilm and then white Seduce, but it didn't happen.
I'm very impressed that Sauerkraut's able to find this so quickly. I mean, yes, the animation eventually is extremely exposed, but if you think about how quickly Sauerkraut took this shot, you know, we did not see very much of that microfilm before switching the laser over, and Sauerkraut holds it down on Gallery, now going up to 10.
Can we go up to 12? Is the question.
That would be an absolutely commanding performance from Sauerkraut. I think it would be the highest point total of any match in SMC so far. But I would not count Lazybear out here on Ballroom just yet, with Sauerkraut playing as Disney. Could be confused for Damon there for a second. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Going straight for a bookcase. We're going to attempt microfilm again.
We just rip it out.
Are we going straight to the other bookcase?
We sure are.
And we're not seen?
We are not. Sauerkraut's going to get this transfer, it appears, clean.
Wow. Are we going for a slight rush? No, we're not. Okay.
I think the rush here...
we could've.
Never mind, we go for the bug! Are you serious?
We could have. Purloin bug transfer fingerprint. That would have been a beautiful rush. Can still happen.
Just too much laser motion, I think, when it's happening. Yeah, we now have 2.5 missions done with 2.5 minutes left on Ballroom, and we're carrying around this briefcase.
Unfortunately, that briefcase didn't have any fingerprints. But we're just missing Contact and Seduce. We could finish with just that, and we're not even highlight.
Sauerkraut is putting on a clinic in this match. And we've seen all kinds of games from him at this point, which is fantastic. We've seen slow games. We now are potentially seeing an early rush. Whether or not we finish it early, I think is irrelevant at this point. The only wrinkle here is that we do not have any flirt progress. Sauerkraut may be recognizing that, entering with our ST, and going to be pulling flirt for the first time, and it's a white test. So we should still be fine here. We can just pick up another fingerprint at some point or contact flirt this out, but maybe not exactly what you wanted.
We can timer flirt this, right? We can timer flirt, get our briefcase in the middle maybe even, and make it even faster, and just finish Seduce and fingerprint. And if Sniper didn't see bug nor transfer, they're not going to shoot.
Sauerkraut just going to be timer flirting this. I think it makes a lot of sense. You need time for these fingerprints to get laid down and even potentially cooked, as you were seen carrying around a briefcase. So that could be giving you fingerprint credit, even though that drink... It's unfortunate because the drink is probably not known, but the briefcase probably is. Irish will smudge that print that was available at Green Books, so nothing going on there.
Yep, here we go for the briefcase. Taking that, giving it back to the ambassador, and then we finish our flirt from any position in that conversation. Or the ST can leave.
No, we're just going to chase this hard. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. We just don't have time. We get the white flirt. That's what we needed. Mission win countdown. There's no reason here for Lazybear to shoot. The transfer was not seen. The bug was not seen. There hasn't even been a contact. And Sauerkraut's going to walk away with a spy win on Ballroom.
Impressive. We might actually see a 12-4.
I mean, this game from Sauerkraut is just so good. I mean, we go for this early rip, and looking at this at the start of this venue, like there's just so much to be looking at. We have a little bit of cover from the party and from the pillar. Great book take. And okay, I mean, you can say like, oh, Lazybear should have seen the transfer. Lazybear should have known that we couldn't have gotten that book out of green. But, I mean, it's a good opportunistic setup. And then finding this bug just shortly thereafter, it completely crushes any chance of coming back in the game. We go here for no reason, right? There's no reason to think the ambassador is going to come here. But when he does, Sauerkraut's ready for it. Goes for this bug, and just too much laser motion from Lazybear to be able to pick it up. A huge win from Sauerkraut, who's looking very, very good coming into the last game of the set.
Yeah, that game was over once Sauerkraut managed to successfully go to the other bookcase without being seen with a book.
All right, well,
and it's difficult to see, but it's not impossible.
We've got the final game now. Lazybear on the spy side playing as Alice. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. %49% green floor to open things up. Pretty good. And now Lazybear, 3 minutes left in the set, gets to decide how to spend them and how to try to find a mission win as spy against a sniper who really just has not been letting that happen.
1% less, and it would have been really unfortunate. But instead we get 49%, and we can go for another close green flirt to finish it off, which I think we might as well just do right now.
Sauerkraut so far has held Lazybear scoreless on the spy side, if I'm reading this correctly, and that is just brutal.
It's very strong sniper for sure. We don't take the purloin, which I do agree with, but we do need to do something since we still need to complete 3 missions.
At this point, I mean, as Lazybear, what do you try? I mean, what have you even tried so far that has gotten past? You know, I could imagine some kind of backward-facing inspect swap to try to finish things off. We have a couple of flashes here from the laser, but no indication to me at this point that Sauerkraut's going to break the high level of discipline that we've seen from him just because he's flashes onto orange. Sorry.
Banana bread.
There's a contact, so the flash on orange sari, I mean, doesn't happen anymore. And everyone else does have a Rio except Duke. Oh, actually, Twin and Red Dress.
$90 left in this game. We have 2 missions done. Lazybear, I mean, is in a position to set up for a center inspect swap, but I just don't feel like Sauerkraut right now is playing in a way where that's going to get past. You need to find a green purloin. You need to find something that can take the sniper's attention away to let you get a bug. You have to find something here that Sauerkraut's not going to be able to see.
Yeah, and that something is going to be very difficult to find in only 60 seconds for 2 missions. We could attempt a bug and then inspect, center inspects, but that's going to be hard to do. We go for a fake banana bread. I actually am okay with it. I'm not sure I like the split, especially going to a conversation that doesn't do much.
We request a drink, and there's the green purloin. And now we have a plan at least for how to finish this game.
Luckily, it's not a lowlight that takes the list, but now we have a bug that's seen, that's definitely seen.
Yeah, no shot
We're not shooting,
yet.
though. Are we waiting for the purloin? Or did we actually not see it? That's a very long list. Still reject.
Yeah, this is brutal. It keeps going. And Sauerkraut has to be thinking like, well, I mean, there's been no reason to shoot at this point, but There's the list take, finally. It's not looked at all. Now the list is seen missing. You can't be serious! And Sauerkraut takes the shot.
I am really impressed that we waited for the guest list to disappear to take that shot. And we didn't even wait for overtime. That is very impressive.
I'm speechless. I mean, Sauerkraut. Look, here's the purloin happens all the way back here at 39 seconds. Excuse me, 42 seconds is when this purloin happens. And then the take happens at 5 seconds. 37 seconds later. And then Sauer takes the shot even before waiting for overtime. I mean, what a way to close this set.
I'm so impressed. I mean, surprised, I think, is the main word, that we didn't wait for overtime. I guess we're not sure when the list was taken, but even then we could see it. So we could have waited just one more second to get a confirmation that missions were finished instead of shooting before the clock shows 0-0.
Well, that is Sauerkraut taking this match 12-4. Now, I don't want to say anything to diminish Sauerkraut's win here, because it's easy to say for any of Sauerkraut's matches, like, oh well, Sauerkraut was facing like C-Rams who like maybe didn't find anything through Sauerkraut's armor, or Sauerkraut was facing Lazybear who hasn't played for a while. Like, I think it's time to come out and say it. Like, Sauerkraut has shown consistent, persistent, high-level play going through this tournament, and at this point, despite that loss to Meteoric, which is going to be very difficult to recover from, if we saw Sauerkraut in the champions bracket, I would not be at all surprised.
Yeah, I'm Sauerkraut just showing commanding, like, just a commanding sniper in general, and then the spy isn't showing any weakness either. Like, you can maybe pick up on one or two things, but if you don't see them, that's just a mission win countdown, and the game is over, and you lost.
All right, well, that is going to be the match for today. Now, of course, we have another cast coming up in just about 3.5 hours. It will be Nebula versus Lev in the bottom round robin group. So be sure to tune in for that. 3.5 hours back at this same channel. And, of course, huge thanks, Gabriel, for hopping on and casting with me.
Absolutely, it was a blast.
And Legorv, a big thanks for working through everything and for being on as our analyst.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'll try to get it fixed for next time.
Yeah, of course. Thanks everyone so much for watching. Great games to Sauerkraut and Lazybear. Congrats, Sauerkraut, on the win. And hopefully you'll join us all back here in 3.5 hours to catch the next set. Till then,